I just wanted to blanket the town and just like get my name out there. And yes, it worked, but it wasn't a good strategy that I probably would do again.
Burnt out. Yeah.
I was very burnt out. I was exhausted. So I know that a lot of times people think that their avatar is the grandma. Like, that's my client. That's the person who I need to market to, is the grandma, the 80-plus-year-old grandma or grandpa who's going to be living in my home. And I'm sure you all are aware now, because we talk about this a lot, that's not who your avatar is. That's not really who your client is. Like, yes, that's the person who's living in your house, but your actual client is the daughter or the son or the POA who's taking charge of that grandparent. And so we wanted to kind of talk about what that person looks like who they are, what they like, what their age range is. So then you can focus your efforts on finding those people. And when you find those people, then you find who's the leader of the group of those people, and then really focus on building that relationship with that leader.
So who would you say is, and I remember doing this exercise with George a couple of weeks ago, where it's like, you almost want to be like big brother creepy of like, okay, like, where do they eat? What type of, are they religious? What is their socioeconomic status? What are they, values, all of that stuff. Like, you have to get into like the nitty gritty of it to really hone in on that perfect thing. So like, when you first moved here, I know you just went out in the community, but did you have like a plan of like, okay, this is what Platinum Mesa is going to be, and these are the kind of people that I want to fit this mold? Or did you just do the inverse of like...
So I actually did the opposite. I didn't have Street 20 when we first moved here. I shotgunned it instead of snipered it. And I know we talk about that. Like, I was just going to every meeting that I could go to. I was going to like 3 meetings a day. Just meeting everybody that I could. And I wasn't strategic about meeting those people who were the influencers, who were the leaders. I just wanted to blanket the town and just like get my name out there. And yes, it worked. But it wasn't a good strategy that I probably would do again.
Burnt out. Yeah.
I was very burnt out. I was exhausted. And then, COVID happened, and then there was the whole thing. So I was doing a lot of Zoom meetings and stuff online. Yeah, I just got burnt out. Brett was like, "Can you stop going to meetings?" He literally told me, "Stop going to meetings." I'm like, "But I'm trying to fill the house. Like, that's my role." And so I would take the sniper approach, which is the Strategic 20, where you're meeting those specific people. I think it was a little easier for us in Georgetown because we have Sun City, which is the 55 plus community that's literally a mile away from Platinum. And there's about 30,000 homes in Sun City. Like, they're literally their own little town. They have their own fire department in there and their own post office. Like, it's that big. So it's like a plethora of individuals to meet within there. Now, they're a very tight-knit community, and so it was very hard to get in there because you have to be very genuine. You can't just be going in there and be like, "I'm an assisted living. Like, I want to throw all my brochures at you," because that's what all the big boxes do. So you don't want to take that approach, right? You want to, it's kind of a slow play. I was meeting individuals with all the meetings that I was going to, and then I was able to meet individuals who work in Sun City, who live in Sun City. And so then they would, invite me over to their house, and we would go eat at the restaurant there in Sun City. And so when you're there, you meet the manager who's overseeing, the restaurant. You're meeting the servers. You're talking to them. I mean, these people see so many of your clients a day, right? Because they work in a place where your avatar hangs out. And so going back to who the avatar is. Again, the avatar is either the son or the daughter, the person who's in charge of the individual's account, so their POA, power of attorney. And so this person is an average age of, I'd say, 60 to 75, maybe 55 to 75, depending on how young the grandparent is when they need to be placed. And it's usually the daughter. That's why everyone says, daughter Carol, like, it's usually the daughter who takes over. It's pretty rare if it's the son. Sometimes it can be the grandson that takes over too, and sometimes the granddaughter, but it's usually the daughter. I mean, literally I'd say even at Mesa right now, it's all daughters.
Yeah.
Every single one of them is a daughter. And so 55 to 75 is their age range. They're usually very tight knit within the community, usually born and raised within like a 20-mile radius of where you are. Not a lot of transplants that I've seen. A lot of people, they have lived in Georgetown for 30 plus years. We've had a couple of individuals that have been from out of state and moved here to place at Platinum, but that's been very rare. A majority of people have been just in the town specifically.
Do they have other commonalities? So I want to expand on that. Like what other, so like if you were talking to the Laura back in 2018, 2019, like what is, with those commonalities of the daughters that you see, you know, that are in Sun City, all of that, like, was there specific character traits or like, you know, commonalities that you noticed in that way, like the SPs on the call can be like, hey, like, all right, like if I'm doing this kind of reverse engineering of like, hey, I want my mansion to be this, have these values, this is our mission, and then kind of reverse engineer it from there?
Yeah. So I would say the first thing, when you were asked that question, the first thing to my mind was nonprofits. So majority of the daughters are involved in nonprofits within the community. And so they're very giving. They usually don't have a job, and so they're retired and they want to give back. So that was also another approach I took was, okay, so since they're giving and they volunteer a lot of their time, it's either with nonprofits or churches. And so I really hit hard with the nonprofits. So how did I do that? I would go to the galas or the fundraisers that these nonprofits had. And then I would try to meet the founder of the nonprofit and then try to go to coffee or go to lunch or have them come to Mesa or whatever it may be to try to build a relationship with those people. When you get a little further along in the process and you're a sponsor for these events, then it's kind of a different, they make time to meet you because you're actually giving money for their nonprofit. But go to these events, go to the nonprofit events, meet as many people as you can. Majority of those people are just really giving individuals, and they, when you tell them that you're opening a assisted living mansion, they want to know more about it. And then churches. So if you're involved in a church within your community, I would say volunteer, do things outside of just Sunday, and meet as many people within your church community because they're also going to know other people within the community that will probably need your services in the future.